going to talk about the professional development plan that I put together for my school, or the school that I will lead one day as principal. And I've been working on this project for about 2 years, and I just pulled together some data that we have begun looking at as a faculty about writing. And we began to be concerned, looking at a couple of years ago, the writing assessment scores from the Alabama Direct Assessment of Writing. And so we kind of put that on the back burner this year and had to focus on RTI and some other things in professional development. But we are going back to writing, and I wanted to work on this plan to make it live and real next year in our PLC, Professional Learning Communities. So my project, my professional development plan is called 24 is the magic number, writing across the grades. My school is a 2 through 6 school, and it is creating and nurturing a professional learning community to enhance writing instruction and then also student achievement. The problem is that we have a variety of writing instruction going on. It's sporadic, it is varied, and it is not consistent in the lower grades at East Elementary School. When students are entering 4th, 5th, and 6th grades, teachers then expect the students to do more writing to learn instead of having to learn to write. But our professional development is going to lead us to move the kids to writing to learn. Teachers in 5th and 6th grades expect them to have a basic understanding of various modes of writing, especially the narrative and descriptive modes. And currently students are confused about that. They do not have that background. And so we want to work on those 2 modes down in our lower 2nd and 3rd grades. Stress is building among the 5th and 6th grade teachers because they're preparing for that ART rigor, the increased rigor of the ART Plus, open-ended responses, and then also getting kids ready for 7th and 8th grade in Pullman Middle School. There are very high expectations there, and we want to send our kids prepared to write so that they can write to learn. Students do not experience in all of the grades direct and explicit writing instruction on a consistent basis. We start the school year out fired up and ready to go, and somehow the thing that gets dropped across the year is writing instruction. So we began to look at the data, and I expanded this a little bit just in my own learning. We took the data from the ADAL, the Alabama Direct Assessment of Writing. Even though we no longer get that, it does trend us back several years so that it is good data to use. We are very strong in holistic composition, which means our kids know how to generate ideas. They know how to get something out on paper. It's almost like an artist getting a splattering up on the canvas, but then it's all in disarray. They don't have it organized because our writing mechanics, sentence formation, and grammar and usage scores across the years, you're going to see that they're lower, the number of kids meeting standards in those areas compared to holistic. So as I scroll looking at the year, you're going to see that the students who meet standards, for the most part, are much lower in these 3 categories of writing mechanics, sentence formation, grammar and usage, the nuts and bolts of writing, rather than just generating good ideas and writing on metal. 2008, 2009, you can see definitely we decrease in what we meet standards in this core of writing instruction. Again, this year was somewhat better with sentence formation, but still our grammar and usage is way off from where our holistic is. And in 2006, 2007, the data is very spread. 91% of our kids met standard on the ideas part, the holistic composition. But as far as how well they wrote, those scores are decreased. So we're looking to decrease here the kids who did not meet standard to increase this. Even though we don't have this assessment anymore, we believe this data helps guide our learning, and we are going to be looking at different data in the future. I'll talk about that in a minute. So what's the plan? We're going to develop and nurture a professional learning community among our school, among our grade levels, to discuss and plan writing in each grade of our building. Teachers will develop developmentally appropriate writing practices for each grade level. What should kids be able to do in the 2nd grade? What should kids be able to do as a writer in the 6th grade? So those teachers know the kids, and they will be able to figure out and develop, here's what's developmentally appropriate for those specific grades. Teachers are going to spend 24 hours in PLC groups. They're going to study research-based writing practices and have conversations to develop those grade level goals. What should kids be able to do? Teachers will explicitly then teach writing. Writing's going to happen 5 days a week. It's going to look a little different every day, but this is what's going to happen. Teachers will explicitly teach writing 3 times a week, a mini lesson, something that kids can learn from instruction, and then go practice for 24 minutes. A 24-minute session 3 times a week of writing instruction. Come, let's change you as a writer. Let's improve you. Teachers will engage in writing conferences, one-on-ones with kids, or maybe a small group, 2 times a week for 24 minutes. So for 5 days a week, 24 minutes each session, and that can be easily fit in to a teacher's day. Something is happening in writing. Either there's a whole group lesson, or there's maybe a small group or an individual conference going on about lifting the quality of some piece of writing for a student. Students will then spend time writing 3 times a week for 24 minutes in each session. Kids have to go practice what we teach them. We're going to give them those 24-minute blocks to go write, and then come to the conference with the teacher to lift the quality. Teachers will also buddy visit within and across grades to observe what other teachers do. We are our own best professional development. Meet together in professional learning groups to assess student writing. We're going to collect student writing. We're going to bring it to the group, and we're going to decide, does this meet what we want kids to do in specific grades? Develop grade-specific rubric on what students should be able to do. We'll have measurements. We'll develop that at our PLCs. This is what we're looking for in a 4th grade writer. Finally, you have to read. In a professional learning community, you have to stay strong in the literature. And so 2 things, because really that writing mechanics, sentence formation, and the grammar and usage, all of that comes out of the revision process. Helping kids get it on paper, yes, but then mapping it out and figuring out and lifting the quality of that revision and editing part of the process. So these 2 texts will really support us in that, the revision toolbox, and then also guided writing, practice lessons, and powerful results. How are we going to assess? What are we going to do to say we have met the goals? We've lifted the quality, we have done a better job of being good writing teachers, and our kids have been the beneficiaries of that. We're going to look at ARMT plus open-ended response scores. We're going to hope that they increase because of that instruction that we've applied and that redesign of our writing time. Students then achieve rubric objectives in each grade level. Those rubrics that we created, we want to make sure that kids' writing that will come alongside will achieve the rubric objectives. And then also teachers are going to complete pre and post surveys about how their writing instruction changed and hopefully improved. These are my references for professional learning communities, of course, Group 4, and then several articles that I pulled from the area database. Okay, hope this helps. Thanks so much.